Om Shanti. This is the Sakar Murli of 19th of January 2024. Essence: Sweet children, remain constantly happy and give happiness to others. This is having mercy for everyone. To show anyone this path is the greatest charity. Question: Who can remain constantly happy and what is the way to become happy? Answer: Only those who are very clever in this knowledge and who know how to remember the drama in the form of a story can remain constantly happy. In order to remain constantly happy, continue to follow the Father's Srimad. Consider yourself to be a soul and churn very well everything that the Father explains to you. By churning the ocean of knowledge, you will become happy. Om Shanti. The spiritual father is having a heart-to-heart conversation with the spiritual children. You souls know that only the one is our Father and that He also gives us teachings. It is the duty of a teacher to give teachings and the duty of a guru to show you your destination. You children have understood your destination. The pilgrimage of remembrance is absolutely necessary for liberation and liberational life. Both are easy. The cycle of 84 births continues to turn. You should also remember that our cycle of 84 births is now ending and that we now have to return home. However, sinful souls cannot go to liberation or liberational life. You have to churn the ocean of knowledge in this way. Those who do this will receive the reward. They are the ones who will remain happy and also make others happy. You have to have mercy for others to show them this path. You children know that this is the most auspicious confluence age. Some remember this whereas others don't. They forget it. If you even remember this much, the mercury of your happiness will remain high. If you also remember the Father in the form of the teacher and the guru too, the mercury of your happiness will remain high. However, while you are moving along, there is some confusion. Just as you have to come up and go down the mountain, so the children's stage is also the same. Some climb up very high and then they fall. So they fall down even further than they were before. Everything they had earned is then lost. No matter how much they have donated or how much charity they have performed, if they begin to commit sin while performing charity, all the charity is finished. The greatest charity is to remember the Father. It is only by having remembrance that you will become a charitable soul. If you continue to make mistakes by being colored by the company you keep, you will fall even further than you were before. Then nothing will be accumulated in that account. There will be a loss. When you do something sinful, a loss is incurred. A lot of sin is accumulated in your account. Accounts have to be looked after. The Father also says you had an account of charity, and by then committing sin, that became an account of 100-fold sin. You incurred a further loss. Some sins are very big and others are lighter. Lust is very severe. Anger is the second number and greed is less than that. Whatever you have accumulated, it is reduced the most by lust. Instead of a profit, there is a loss. Those who defame the Satguru cannot receive a status. Some belong to the Father and then leave him. What is the reason for that? Usually, they are hurt by lust. That is a very severe enemy. They make an effigy of it and burn it. They don't create effigies of anger or greed. You have to gain total victory over lust, for only then will you become the conquerors of the world. You call out, "Come and make us who have become impure in the kingdom of Ravan pure." They all sing, O purifier, the one who purifies the impure, the Rama, who belongs to Sita, come. However, they don't understand the meaning of that. You know that the Father would surely come to establish the new world, but because they have lengthened its duration, there is now extreme darkness. There is knowledge and ignorance. Devotion is ignorance because they don't know the one whom they worship. So, how can they attain him? This is why their donations and charity etc. are fruitless. Perhaps they receive a little temporary happiness like the droppings of a crow, but otherwise there is nothing but sorrow. The Father now says, "Constantly remember me alone, and all your sorrow will be removed." You now have to see how much you remember Him so that the old finishes and the new accumulates. Some don't accumulate anything. Everything depends on remembrance. How can your sins be erased or cut away without you having remembrance? There are many sins of birth after birth. Your sins of many births will not be cut away by telling Baba your life story of this birth. The sins of this birth become a little lighter, but you have to make a lot of effort. Only with yoga will all the karmic accounts of so many births be settled. You should think about how much yoga you have. Will I be able to take birth at the beginning of the golden age? Only those who make a lot of effort will take birth at the beginning of the golden age. They cannot remain hidden. Not everyone will go to the golden age. Others would claim a low status at the end. If they do come at the beginning, they would have to serve. This is something common that has to be understood. This is why you have to remember the Father a great deal. You know that we have come here to become the masters of the world in the new world. Those who remember Baba will definitely remain happy. If you want to become a king, you also have to create your subjects. How else could it be understood that you are going to become a king? Those who open centers and do service also earn an income. They receive a lot of benefit. They receive a reward too. Some even open 3 or 4 centers. Whatever they do, they definitely receive a share of that. The burden of Maya's sorrow is now being lifted by all of you together, and so everyone gives a shoulder. Therefore, everyone receives a reward. Those who make effort and sow this path to many will accordingly receive a high status. They will have a lot of happiness. Your heart knows how many you have sown the path to and how many you have uplifted. This is the time to do everything. You all receive food and drink. Some don't do any work at all. Look how much service Mama did. She benefited a lot from doing service. A lot of service is needed here too. Service is done by having yoga too. You receive such deep directions. Now, as you move forward, many different points will emerge. Day by day, there will continue to be progress. New points will emerge. Those who remain engaged in doing service are quickly able to grasp them. Nothing will sit in the intellects of those who don't do service. How can they understand the form of a point? You can ask anyone, how big is a soul? Tell us what the length and time period of souls are. No one would be able to tell you. People ask about the name, form, land, and time of the Supreme Soul. If you ask them this about souls, they become confused. No one knows this. A soul is such a tiny point, and such a huge part is recorded in it. Here too, there are many who don't know about souls or the Supreme Soul. They have just renounced the vices, and that too is a wonder. The religion of sannyasis is separate. This knowledge is for you, the father explains. You were pure and you then became impure. You now have to become pure again. Only you go around the cycle of 84 births. No one in the world knows these things. Knowledge is separate from devotion. Knowledge makes you ascend and devotion makes you descend. So there is the difference of day and night. No matter how much people consider themselves to be authorities of the Vedas and scriptures, they don't know anything at all. You do now know them. Amongst you two it is number wise. Because you forget, your happiness disappears. Otherwise you would have a lot of happiness. You are receiving this inheritance from Baba. Baba grants you visions. However, if you have visions but you don't follow Srimad, what is the benefit in that? People remember the Father when they are in sorrow. They call out to the Father, Liberator, O Rama, O Prabhu. However, they don't know who He is. No one on the path of devotion says, consider yourself to be a soul and remember the Father. Not at all. If they were to say this, it would have continued from time immemorial. Devotion has continued. There is a lot of devotion, whereas this knowledge is of one. People think that they will find God by performing devotion, but they don't know how or when. No one knows when devotion begins or who does the most devotion. Will they continue to perform devotion for another 40,000 years? On the one side, people are doing devotion, and on the other side, you are receiving this knowledge. You have to beat your head so much with human beings. You hold so many exhibitions, but in spite of that, only a handful out of multi-millions emerges. How many do you make the same as yourselves and bring here? You cannot calculate at this time how many true Brahmins there are. There are many false children too. Brahmin priests tell religious stories, whereas Baba is telling you the story of the Gita. You too relate it. Just as Baba speaks it, so do you children. It is the duty of you children to relate the true Gita. Everyone has scriptures. In fact, all the scriptures etc. belong to the path of devotion. Only the one Gita is the religious book of knowledge. The Gita is the mother and father. The Father himself comes and grants salvation to everyone. People then defame such a father. Say Baba's birthday is worth diamonds. God himself, the highest on high, is the bestower of salvation. How can there be praise of anyone else? People praise the deities, but it is only the one Father who makes them into deities. Our construction and destruction are taking place. There are many who are unable to explain anything, and so they do physical work. In the military, there are those who do all the work. It is said the uneducated ones will have to bow down in front of the educated ones. Learn from what Mama and Baba do. You can also understand who the specially beloved children are. If you ask Baba, Baba would give you a name and say, follow so and so. What would those who are not serviceable teach others? They would waste even more time. Baba explains, if you want to make progress, you can do that here. There is the picture here of how you have taken 84 births. You have understood this, and so you can now explain it to others. It is so easy. You have to become this. Yesterday you worshipped them. Today you don't because you have received this knowledge. Many will come and take this knowledge. As you open more centers, many people will come and understand it. The mercury of their happiness will rise as soon as they hear it. You have to change from an ordinary human into Narayan. There is also the story of the true Narayan. People continue to descend by doing devotion. They don't know what knowledge is. The Unlimited Father is explaining to you accurately. Baba says, yesterday I gave you the kingdom, so where did that kingdom go? You yourselves know that this is a play. Only the one Father tells you the secrets of the whole play. We say, Baba, you are bound by the drama and you therefore have to come into the impure world and enter an impure body. People praise God a great deal. You children say, Baba, we called you and so you had to come to serve us. That is to make us pure from impure. Every cycle you make us into deities and then depart. This is like a story. It is a story for those who are clever. You children should remain happy. Baba has also become the servant according to the drama. The Father says, follow my directions. Consider yourselves to be souls. Renounce body consciousness. You will receive new bodies in the new world. Churn very well the things that the Father explains to you. Use your intellect to understand that you have come here to become this. Your aim and objective is in front of you. Those people consider God to be a human being, or they say that He is incorporeal. All of you souls are also incorporeal. You adopt bodies and you play your parts. Baba too is playing a part. Only those who do service well have the faith that they will definitely become a bead of the rosary. You have to change from an ordinary human into Narayan. When you fail, you automatically become Rama or Sita. God is teaching you and so you should study very well. However, there is a lot of opposition from Maya. Maya brings storms. Acha, to the sweetest beloved long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for dharana number 1. Churn the ocean of knowledge and experience limitless happiness. Have the mercy to show this path to others. Don't be colored by the company you keep and thereby perform sinful acts. Second, in order to lift the burden of Maya's sorrow, you all have to give your shoulders. Open centers and become instruments for the benefit of many. Blessing, may you understand the value of your words and be economical with them and thereby become a great soul. It is said of great souls, Sat Vachan Maharaj, brackets, whatever great souls speak is the truth, so let your words always be virgins, words that enable everyone to have one attainment or another. Never let there be words spoken by Brahmins that would curse anyone. Therefore, only speak tactful and useful words. Understand the value of words. Speak pure words that give happiness. Do not say anything flippantly. Be economical with your words and you will become a great soul. Slogan, when you have the hand of Srimad constantly with you, you will continue to walk hand in hand around the whole cycle. Om Shanti. With Avyakt silence, experience the double light angelic stage. Big machines function with an electric connection. All of you also continue to perform every action on the basis of having a connection and being double light. When you have a double light stage, the words hard work and difficult finish. When you have finished the consciousness of I and have the awareness of being a trustee and doing godly service, you will become double light. Om Shanti.